That collection of 4 players there, Dog, Slysssa, Bill, and Collins, have been putting in work this tournament. Shout out to the Chinese players for doing the honourable thing when offered and actually offering up the regame to the opponents. But they will be once again looking to get back on the grind. And Island Cat finds himself a Jandis. PF picks up the Cook. La 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 is on Nguyen, is on Panda, and we are going to see a Daryl coming out from Taotao as well.
So we're going to need to see how many tokens are in the lobby before we can decide. But we do have Snead, Galacron, Diablo, and Reno on the other side, all of which are also potential power spikes. And so this is going to be a brutal lobby. The people who get the good start in this one are going to be all over it.
Jandis token on 1, which means Island Cat is going to go for the goods here. And we will start to see, I was critical earlier of a different player for China taking a 3-drop early while on high health. So we will now get to see whether that is kind of a China meta thing or whether that was just an individual player decision in that spot as to what Island Cat does here with this first triple he picks up on Jandis. Did take a look at the bans. They are demons, mechs, and beasts, which means this is only single token lobby for Island Cat on the Jandis, and he did hit it.
Like I say, you only need a single token, Sottle, and it all spirals out of control uncontrollably from there. And this Jandis is going to be probably a monster. In fact, having a look at those bans again, it does make the choice of 4 or 5 quite interesting, because conventional wisdom, quite often now with beasts in, Jandis will still go for a 5, but with beasts out, Island Cat will have a decision to make.
Yeah, with beasts in, and if you are flipping the beast token in particular, there does become a lot of value to taking a 5, right? Because you can actually just get persistent value out of a Mama Bear by continuing to flip that token for additional triples further down the line. But yes, you are right, with beasts out is a very, very different beast. That wasn't even on purpose.
What the... Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, La 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 getting... What did he get there? Okay. Reset.
Picks up Refarm hero power and ends up killing absolutely nothing with it on that turn. So that is just 1 gold set on fire as he gets hit with the double Rockpool Hunter on the other side.
That's how Refarm always works.
Yep, no, very true.
Sotos had to listen to me moan about Refarm just for 12 months or so. Nothing short.
PF seems to think there is a decision this turn. Okay, I was going to say, this is the decision that I would like to see, and it is the one he ends up going with. I do think you need a shop of significant power level to be not going to 3-on-3 with the Cook in this position. Hero powering the Elemental is perfect because it gives him the out for Smogger as well as Cyclone to be hitting a tier 3 Elemental. Does pick up the Smogger, so he gets a really strong board. For a character that has just gone 3-on-3, this is about as big a board as you're ever going to see. And this is the advantage of Cookie over Gale Wing, for example, is Gale Wing goes 3-on-3, and then is weak for a turn and is going to take damage, and then gets to be very strong the turn afterwards, essentially looking for up to three drop minions in 1 turn, whereas Cookie gets to have that minion a whole turn earlier and might not even lose the fight when going to 3-on-3, which is a really big deal.
Yeah, I always feel that Gale Wing compared to Cookie arguments, Gale Wing does its thing when it's already stabilized. It's nice when it gets to higher drops, but I just like the early tempo, especially what we've seen from these lobbies over the last few days. You can't afford to be missing a turn or messing around. People will kill you very quickly if you do that. This is a nice board going into the Diablo turn. No taunt.
It is no taunt. Yeah, no taunt available is a big deal, though. It does mean that there is some scam potential on the other side. Dog has actually gone with a Bronze Warden early on here, which is something that I do tend to find quite surprising. Like, I know Bronze Warden is one of the cards that is the furthest possible above the power scale at the time that you can get it. Like, Bronze Warden on curve as a Tavern 3 minion is so strong in comparison to everything else that you can get. but is it a win condition? No, absolutely not. And I think going for a win condition with Galakrond is something that I favour personally, but Dog deciding that he's going to divert here, just pick up some strength, and in this position does get the support for Divine Shields immediately. Finding that Gem Splitter to go with the Bronze Warden is a very, very big deal indeed.
Yeah, and the gems to give Divine Shield to the second minion as well. He does get the gem. This was crucial that he got this one gem, right? Because now he can spiral out of control over the next few turns with double gems basically every turn. He can find a way to protect that splitter.
Yep, even cashes out the bonus gem from the Reborn on the Bronze Warden as well. So his slightly unconventional setup is going to work out pretty well for him, having found that scaling to go with it immediately. Interesting to see where he goes from here, though. Whether he looks to lean further into Quilboar synergy, looking for Agam, for example. Agam is considered a relatively weak win condition these days, but, Dog is leaning into that kind of angle, and with mechs out, there's no route to pick up Greasebot, for example, to support the Divine Shield strategy instead. So very curious as to how Dog is going to build on that start into a potential win condition.
I feel like Taotao has been one of the lower scorers. Given that I said that about PF earlier, and he instantly wins the lobby, Taotao now may be the person who's in position of being a low scorer, and won't be low scoring in this lobby unless something extreme happens, because Daryl, very good second, third place hero, we discussed that earlier, and he's got a decent minion to stick it on early here, so he's going to be set for some time without having to do anything special here. Is he going to do the whole one drop thing we saw Dog do? It looks very likely.
It does, yeah. He is at least on shiny curve so far. Whether or not he continues to level from this point, we will wait and see, or whether he's going to hang out on one, because he really hasn't activated too many dances yet either. Only that one dance on the Chroma Wing up until this point. The Snead here does dodge the first attack of the Chroma Wing, meaning that some bonker value does get to come out. That bonker was a kind of a failed 4-drop triple from the Snead, looking for potential win conditions, but just settling with a decent minion to go with instead. And he is now going to take a 50-50 to cut one more damage off the board. Does hit it on the right-hand side.
And second Chroma Wing. Sorry, talked over you. Sorry. There's second Chroma Wing in the shop. I think we might see him just go and do the same thing again, very similar to what Dog did earlier. Although Dog did have the benefit of demons to get those extra health totals to buff those Chroma Wings up, and that is not available in this lobby.
By the way, now that we look at it, it looks very much like this was triple into a 3, right, from Island Cat, as he has the Money Pirate on the board. So maybe this is just the Chinese way with this hero, taking a 3 and then a 5. I am absolutely not changing my opinion on this. I do not like it, even though Island Cat, the player that we've thought has played very, very well, is now doing it. But clearly, it is a more common option for the Chinese players.
Collins wondering whether to wait one turn on this Light Fang. It's only a small buff for this turn if he does it, but he's down to 25, and he is going to need a little bit more time needed, right? If he takes 6 or 7 even here, it's not pretty for him. He might as well just get it over with. It's a 4/4 buff.
Livid about this hero power, I think. We've talked a lot about how generally jovial and upbeat and, laughing at everything that Collins tends to be, but this is absolutely not what he wanted to see. He is upset with the way this game is going now, as he's had to go with Golden Lightfang with a single tribe on board currently.
Yeah, and a beautiful Avenge-looking setup as well, with the double Scally and the Acolyte hanging about with, just one to that Nestmate and off you go, but here he is, Lightfanging away. Into a huge Devil turn as well. Did he golden that? I think he did.
He did,
He froze one in the shop, he hit the other.
He froze one in the shop and then was able to pick up the triple, probably dancing on both in the same shop and actually making one massive Chroma Wing in the end. And I love, as soon as I was saying, okay, Collins actually looks genuinely upset, he then immediately starts laughing at the situation again as well.
The reason that Chroma Wing is such a big deal in my mind is he's tier 1. Chroma Wing's going to get ridiculous with the health it has available to it over the next few turns. It's going to be unkillable and kill anything until somebody establishes some poison on the board.
Well, that's 1 minion down, 6 more to go for the Finley, because there's not a lot going on the rest of the board, that's for sure.
Yeah, Nest Matron I can see an Acolyte. He's on 8, Solem.
He is very much on 8, yes. Well observed.
It's turn 7. How can he be on 8? Well, I can tell you how he's on 8 because he's got a golden Scally on the board. I want to see how big these elementals are. 9/9. That seems okay.
Yeah, so 6 procs so far, which if you look at the board, he currently has 3 procs available on his board, right? So maybe he's just had this for 2 turns and he's been able to scale that through. He is going to pick up the Smogger, he is going to buff up the Lightspawn, he is going to keep the rest of the Avenge synergy. He really didn't have enough gold to spend to even get out of the milking board and into a strong board even if he wanted to. So he's just going to have to shut his eyes and pray that his Jandis opponent is not strong. But how many times in your history of playing Battlegrounds has that hope worked out for you, Lorinda?
I mean, not many. Although my MMR, sometimes.
Okay.
Just from occasion, you find a Jandis who's got, I don't know, nothing, because they forgot to buy a minion, or they disconnected or something, but yeah.
Please don't say disconnect. No, too soon.
Sorry.
Too soon.
Said the D word live on stream, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And just trying to look at it here, I don't think he can survive.
Go left! Oh, it does not go
chance.
left! And that is meaning the Bagurgle is going to survive. That 5 damage being added in is going to mean death for Nguyen. Panda going to bite the dust, and that is going to be La 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 on Panda going down in 8th place there. Seeing if anyone else went down with them, but I don't think that is going to be the case with how quickly La 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 was eliminated from that lobby. Yeah, absolutely not. And now, attention over to Slysssa. It is murder board time. And we will see how big Slysssa can get on this turn to be able to take down as many of those players as she can. Remember, damage cap off, deactivated by that death from the La 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 on the previous turn. So if she can make murder board here, she might be able to do some serious damage to the remainder of this lobby.
Yeah, she's got to have both things in her mind, right? Because she's got a good chance here to set up a nice longer-term Murloc thing, but with a 13-13 with a whole handful of prizes, if she can do what I think only Radu and Collins have really done and had a game-destroying turn 8.
Mm-hmm.
She's just going. Oh, Murlocs, they're pretty big. They're pretty poisony. Taunt would be nice of any description.
Oh, Necrolite is a nice clutch little pickup here.
Wow.
She managed to defend that SI Sephin by stealing all the value off of the Quilboar there, getting that repeated value from those extra Blood Gem procs. Big, big deal indeed. And now she's going to load up on all this loot, make her board as strong as possible, and she will just hand over to the AI fights and see how many of these players she can take down. And if she's favored against this Jandis, I think she's in pretty good shape in the lobby overall.
Yeah, reminder to everyone there is a 10-10 to add on top of this and the secret at the end. So lots of murdering coming up here.
One proc on the Sephin as well, and it goes on the highest health minion, which means now that Sephin is probably able to take down this entire board state single-handedly. Yes, it can. Where does this last attack go? It goes right! So the treasure at the very least is denied, but the damage is going to still come through. 12 of it, in fact. The Jandis survives, but did anyone else bite the dust on this turn? No, everyone dodges.
But look at the health bars. Everybody's on like 4 and 7 and 2. Apart from the Galakron, which was Dog with that weird but amazing early Gem Splitter setup on turn 3 or 4 that we last saw him on. Collins rewarded, by the way, for taking his Golden Lightfang, I suspect, because he's on 2. And it seems pretty unlikely that any other course of action would have done any better that quickly.
Yeah, there was no shot, right? Like, we joined him a few seconds late. We didn't get to see what the decision was that led to him having a Lightfang on the board, but I imagine if a Lightfang was taken and then goldened in that position, the other 2 options were just not win conditions. moves, right? Like, absolutely by no regard. So there was probably no decision to be made there for Collins. He just took the only one that offered scaling, and then he cashed out his hero power. Yet again, that is a really, really tough skill to walk the tightrope in Battlegrounds between recognizing how long you can be greedy and look for better win conditions, and when you just play to outlive one person, right? Like, you don't have to outrun the bear, you just have to outrun your friend so the bear gets them first. That's how the situation works in Battlegrounds.
One of Sottle's favourite tactics in life as well as in Battlegrounds.
Just throw whoever I'm with to the wolves immediately in every situation. Yes.
Raven has so many bear marks all over.
True.
All right. Taotao has got into a very strong looking position. No surprise on the Daryl. One slip and he dies, but the slip seems like it gets some way off. Slysssa could probably take care of this board, but not many other people.
Yeah, Slysssa is previously engaged over on the other side against a huge cookie board on the other side. Her Murlocs, not enough procs of the Sephin have gone off yet, so she doesn't have enough poisons to be able to take care of this board state just yet. So PF does end up pushing some damage against Slysssa. The Jandis does bite the dust to this massive Daryl board as well. So now that is Island Cat and La going out in 8th and 7th place. This is starting to look like a very, very dire situation for Team China in this one.
Yeah, if Island Cat goes down in 7th place, so he's 8th and 7th in the two ones that count. And we said at the start, Island Cat can't afford to be down there. It's going to be up to the rest of the team once again. But PF was looking pretty good. Taotao's looking pretty good. This one is not over. They're not going to, almost certainly not going to gain points in this lobby, but they can still restrict the damage to make the third lobby very exciting indeed.
Oh, Dog has converted this position so nicely. I raised the question early on as how do you build Bronze Warden Gem Splitter into something that can win the lobby? Answer, pretty much exactly like this. Golden Selfless triple into the pig, 10 blood gems a turn because you have the golden gem splitter on your side, and he also has the ground shaker now with all this divine shield synergy because he has 4 divine shields between the 2 natural ones that he has access to and that selfless hero going off. Maybe he'll be going up looking for Baron in this position. Actually, he already has a Baron in his hand that I'm not even taking notice of, so he is in a really, really good spot to be able to bring this one home from here.
Yeah, and what he's going to do here is hold on to, I assume, the pig as long as possible before having to play the Baron. He's in no pressure at all to do so, and he will be hoping to just get as much out of this pig as he can so that when he does eventually switch the gems onto the divine shields, it will be ginormous, I think is the official word in the dictionary.
Yeah, 100% agree. The pig just has squatter's rights right now, right? It's just holding on to a spot until it vacates the premises to make room for that Baron to come in and finish out the comp. And until then, Dog is just going to gobble up this Divine Shield synergy as best he can. He wants to dodge. He wants that... Oh, okay, never mind. I was about to say he wants that Gem Splitter attack to be going into the right-hand side, but the attacks go for him, and he is going to milk maximum value out of those blood gems before the Gem Splitter bites the dust. And with that pig surviving as well, that is going to be, what, one-off lethal this turn? 11 damage going through to the Diablo.
Taotao survives. We didn't see the fight, we didn't follow the fight because we were watching the other one. But he survives with a 1/3 imp as Daryl, which seems like the least likely result you're ever going to get on this hero.
And then that so is Collins Reno going down in 6th place. First America's player to be eliminated from the lobby. That's China 8th, China 7th, America's 6th so far, the way this is panning out. But this Daryl is going to have to go somewhere very special very quickly if it's going to compete with Dog's board, for example, because this is the kind of board for Taotao that gets absolutely smoked by Divine Shields on the other side, right? Like 159-39. If that cracks into a 39 attack Divine Shield, you don't need to be a rocket scientist or the son of one, Lorinda, to be able to work out where that one is going to lie.
This is going to be a crucial fight on the right-hand side. PF is established. He's got the Hogger. I know it's not a golden. He's also getting the blood gems, obviously, but he's up against Dog and he's on 2 health. If he survives this fight, he's got great things in his future, but I think Dog is likely just too big for him already.
Yeah, imagine surviving this fight. Interesting, by the way, that PF is munching on Peggies and not planning to buy them here. Okay, he does pick up the other one, because if you are going minimal Hoggers plus Flat Tusk, having Peggies to support that is actually a ton of stats, because obviously every blood gem that you generate is a card that enters your hand. So the way the Peggy is written, you do get the +1/+1 buff for those.
Imagine surviving against Dog. Right,
I know.
Have a look at the left.
Yeah, it's not close. Dog wins, lol, is the way that this fight is panning out. So on the left-hand side, these dragons are looking for some value trades, but they are, again, probably a little bit vulnerable to the strategy of Snead as well, right? Because there's not high health on enough dragons. It's a very glass cannon build, so these persistent death rattles from the Snead should have a decent edge in this spot. But this swing is huge, and that's not the way he wanted it to go. But the 5-drop death rattle is big enough from the Snead in the end to be able to push the lethal. Snead eliminates Daryl, and that means that after a valiant effort, the Daryl Taotao is going to go down in 3rd place then.
So it is Dog and Bill?
WTY Bill is the Snead, yeah. Good old witty Bill, who it seems like we haven't checked in with for a while. But guess what, folks? We invalidated a lobby. We ran a lobby back all the way from the beginning just to have Dog and Bill crush everyone. Normal service has been resumed.
Interesting there on Dog. Maybe I'm slightly misunderstanding how he completes this build. He did go past a Necrolite, which I thought would be a good thing for him to be picking up, but it looks, now I'm looking more carefully, like he's already done the thing, so he didn't need another one.
Yeah, I think also on this board state at the moment, what does he sell to get the board space for the Necrolite through, right? Like, there's nothing that he can recycle out and then recycle something back in. Like, you'd need a second Baron in your hand before you even think about doing that, I think. So I would agree, just cycling through, looking for more pairs and more triples is probably the only effective thing that Dog has left to spend gold on at this point.
By the way, everybody just take a screenshot of this and pin it to your wall, if that's how screenshots work. Dog is floating 2 gold. I don't know if I've ever seen him do that on purpose.
Yeah, strictly illegal, right? Pheno use all. Don't sure if that really applies to Battlegrounds in this position. But, as I was saying, he doesn't really have any ways left this game to effectively spend gold because of the fact that he's functionally board locked. So, I mentioned the only real effective thing he has to spend gold on are pairs and triples. So, you know, locking a triple in the shop for 5 gold is actually arguably gold efficient with the way that Dog's game is breaking down at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it is a game about it. How much does this thing cost, and is it worth it? And sometimes a lot of gold is still worth it. At the end of the game, you roll 9 times looking for the exact one card that saves you, etc. So, yeah. And it looks like Dog's just going to end it here. I haven't seen any hits that have gone Bill's way in this very unfavoured matchup for him.
Yep, still a ton of stats left over, still Divine Shields left over that are taking care of the poisons as well. Yep, no, could not be going any better. Every single Divine Shield just takes care of a poison, leaving maximum damage hanging around on the board, and that is going to be 4, 7, 11, 14, 19 damage going through to the face. That is going to be a lobby win for Dog. It's going to be a lobby win for Americas. It's going to be a 1-2 for Americas, and it's going to be Americas in a extremely dominant position going into our final lobby. After our unfortunate regame, I think America's position improved, so they will be certainly very thankful that the ruling was passed down, that the regame was allowed, because they had a significantly better lobby there in the regame than they did in the original iteration.
What does that mean?
Size matters, so people can check out what size they are by typing the command size. See if they're chonkers or dinkers or average or growers or showers.